sort of get this responsibility to sort of uphold the standard of touch in Singapore. I always had that desire that I wanted to be the best player, the best person on the field. It's been about 4 years now. First started as a freshman in NUS. That's when I first picked up the touch. Originally, I came from a rugby background. It was a really high intensity sport. Fewer players on the field means you're doing more than traditional rugby. All 6 players on the field are involved in any one play at a given time. So it's essentially just 1 hour of non-stop running, and this is like every time you run a set, you have to be running at like your 90 to 100%. Usually for the second hour of training, that's when we really gas out the tank, and yeah, it's really physically demanding. As a player, we have lots of additional fitness sessions on top of our club trainings and Singapore trainings. We end up just training pretty much 6-7 days a week, including all of our gym and physical sessions. It was easier for me to pick up because coming from a rugby background, I had all of the basic skills down, but there was still a lot for me to learn. But gradually after that, I started falling in love with the sport and sticking around. Being in the national team, of course, a lot more is required of you. On the physical level, you sort of get this responsibility to sort of uphold the standard of touch in Singapore. I always had that desire that I wanted to be the best player, the best person on the field, no matter which category or whichever situation I'm put in. In my free time, I would be doing my own fitness sessions. I would be, studying game footage in my hall room just to try to learn the game as much as possible. That mentality carried through moving up to club, which was a bigger level, and of course the international level, which was the biggest jump off them all. That mentality of being the best player on the field, I pretty much apply it to like every other aspect of my life. I have this thing where I'm not always the fastest person to pick something up, but I always make it a point that I have to put in the work to, pick something up. It applies to things like work and even the small things, I think. It's like, if I'm gonna do something, I may as well be putting in my 110%.
Performance, I think, is definitely one of the pillars of sports excellence. This is the first initiative that we're trying to kickstart our preparation post-World Cup. So we had our recent World Cup in 2024. It's a 4-year cycle as we prepare for the next World Cup. The vision is actually to allow more players more opportunities to compete. So we want to kickstart this high performance camp to align certain standards and start our campaign a little bit earlier, identify young talents. I participated in my first Touch World Cup when I was 22. It was an eye-opening experience, like just being part of the whole national program back then. I had so many seniors and mentors to guide me and help me, and I think just being able to represent my country at the highest level made me super motivated to continue my journey. Yeah, so I'm just really hoping to do what I can in the next 2 years to help out in transition, like what my seniors did for me. I think what I want the younger players to know is that they can dream big, and the value of hard work will one day bring them to their goals. We train so hard our whole life just to compete and win, right? And then at the same time, there's certain things that you want to make sure that you are not compromising. So sometimes when I coach the younger kids, you also try to teach them the correct values, how we win is important, how you carry yourself is important, and how you stand up after a loss or after a defeat is as important as that. When we compete at the highest level, your values will get challenged. You know, you're challenged, and that to me is the true essence of sporting excellence, to uphold your values and to play with integrity, like to compete even at the highest level. There's so much potential, you know, to represent the country, and I think touch is a sport that we are able to compete. I really hope that we have a large pool of players across all genders, and across all age group. That will be the goal, and I'm trying to push us in that direction. So more opportunities, more camps, more outreach. Hopefully we get more people interested in sport.
Right now, what we have in Broadrick Secondary, Touch Rugby is one of the SILs, or Student Initiated Learning, or essentially it's a special interest groups. Students voluntarily sign up for these groups, and they train in it once a week, and they are given the opportunity to represent schools in competitions as well. It's compulsory for every student to join a CCA, whereas for SIL, they sign up on their own. I have students coming from uniform groups, coming from the performing arts. So it's an opportunity to try something different for them. The ability for them to actually learn a new sport, to actually represent the school, for them to don on that t-shirt actually makes a big deal for these students, because that's something different. That's a new group that they're belonging to. Personally, for me, I think I've been very fortunate as well. In my current role as a senior teacher, I don't have any CCA in particular that I have to be in charge of, so I take this as my own personal CCA. For me, it's the joy when they learn something and the joy of achievement, right? When they do well, you can see how much they want it, how much they train for it. We're a small group, but I'm very proud of them. There's a saying in education is that we don't teach subjects, we teach students. At the end of it, regardless of whichever subjects, we're building up for life, right? I think for us, we are really focusing on developing the characters. For me, as a physical educator, I really want them to love sports. I mean, up to now, I'm still playing, and I still love to play, right? I think it's so important, especially in this day and age. So I think this is key values in which all these students need to learn, in which they're developing their character through actual situations, right? Even though when emotions are high, things are at stake, you know, you might lose that important game, but you keep your values. I think as a Touch Rugby community, we've gone through quite a fair bit of changes and fair bit of challenges. So on my end, I would love to give back to the sport that's given so much to me. And I think the best way that I know how to is to really pay it forward. And if my students can eventually go on to represent Singapore, hey, I've done my job. Yeah.